As always with wrong turn movies, the comedy is always funny, at least in my opinion. I feel like the hillbillies are always a centerpiece when it comes to these films. The way you have the hillbillies interact with like the normal civilians is just always hilarious. Having these little ugly creatures like roaming around, like you can't really get better than that, man, in terms of comedy. In this movie, they're like, oh my days, man, like the effects with the blood and stuff, it's just so bad, man. I don't understand with these films, like when you make a film and then you just have such bad effects, I'm just like, why even like show it? Or like you can tell that it was almost like, you know, like, I don't know, it was almost like painted blood on the person. It's like, it didn't feel like the blood was actually on the person. It was so bad. This is the problem with these films. It's that it almost gets worse each film they make in terms of their effects. They don't even care, I feel like, at this point. I feel like the kills in this movie are good in it, but it's just sometimes some of the kills they show is not utilized effectively because you know that it's not real based on the effects. It's not believable to you. So you're just sitting there thinking like, oh my days, like, what am I even watching? It kind of takes you out the movie. It really bothered me. So as always, just like the fourth one in this film, the effects was pretty bad. Like characters in this film, honestly, I didn't really have a problem with. Like I actually quite liked. I mean, there was nothing special. They were pretty basic, mediocre. I feel like the only character in this movie that probably stood out to me was the guy, the hillbillies and the psycho who's with the hillbillies. So essentially his adopted children or whatnot. It wasn't like, you know, a film where I feel like the characters were like annoying me or where I thought like kill this character already, you know what I'm saying? That's not really saying much though, or really a good thing, because it's like you're watching it and you're just thinking you don't really care what's really going on really, because it's like if you don't really care about any characters, then it's like what's really the point in even watching the film? Because even like the environment that we're in is very basic. It's very like this one set pretty much. This sort of small town. Not much is really going on, honestly. The dialogue feels like those typical cliche like American jock type of lines where you have those sort of like corny, typical American lines where it just kind of makes you cringe. It almost gives you the vibe of like Friday the 13th type of like dialogue. I don't know. I don't. What do you want me to say about these movies, fam? Or at least this movie, fam? Like it's saying crap, honestly, fam. Like it wasn't like terrible, like unbearable to watch, but there's not really any layers. There's not really any, you know, like things to really like describe about this movie because it's so like generic and basic. If we just like not even talking about the effects and the way if we just talking about the gore itself, like the kills itself, right? Some kills I thought was actually pretty creative and pretty like good. And there were, to be fair, there were scenes where the effects wasn't holding it back, at least in my opinion. And you know, there is some scenes to where I'm like, oh my days, like, god damn. If I'm taking away one thing from this movie, I would say like the gore, some gore scenes was good enough to where like it didn't take me out the movie, but at the same time you still had scenes where like the effects, man, was really holding it back, man. I don't know if I would say like this film had the best kills in the franchise. I don't know if I'd really say that. Probably not. I do feel like the acting at points was good. No one's performance really like stood out to me in this film. Like it was just, like I said, another generic thing. Everything about this movie was pretty much generic, honestly. Nothing about this movie was really standout-ish to me, at least to me. You know, the pacing to me was alright in this movie. I don't feel like there was like a pacing issue. Like I feel like it did flow at least well to me, even though like it felt like nothing was really moving at times. I don't feel like the pacing was like a problem. The hillbillies, the way they look, it looks so good. It looks so great. Like, they look like ugly ass rats that are just revolting to look at. They always do a good job at that because they just look like crap. That's always going to be the main like plus to these films, is the way they look. Honestly, what stood out to me the most, I would say, thinking about it now in this movie, was the ending. This ending easily ranks in one of the most darkest endings, at least in my opinion. It's the way it ends off. Is like, oh man, definitely objectively in my opinion one of the darkest endings. This easily is the darkest amongst the first 5 movies, like easily. That's it really. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, comment down below, let me know what you thought of this movie, if you hated it, if you loved it, and maybe, you know, mention down in the comments if I missed anything important or anything that maybe stood out to you personally. Anyways, in a bit, man.